I was honoured enough to be invited to speak outside Westminster, and I did. It was quite an experience speaking to so many people, and my speech was about 10 minutes long, so obviously I know a lot of people don't watch stuff for 10 minutes, so here is the final 3 pleas that I made. Firstly, to the public, I need you to get really firmly behind your doctors, because they really are fighting for the future of the NHS, and if you want the NHS to remain, you need to fight for it too. The thing is, unless you or everyone you know is invincible, this really is your problem too. And I'm really sorry if you've had an appointment or a procedure that's been postponed. I've also had one postponed myself, as I was due to have hip surgery on the 3rd of May, but because of the strike the week before, it's been postponed. But I'm not angry, because we have to allow our doctors to be able to speak now, before there is no NHS left to speak for. So please support them, because I need the NHS, you need the NHS, we all need the NHS. Secondly, to Mr. Hunt, who is unlikely to be listening because he's not very good at that, but we'll give it a go anyway. You need to get back to the negotiating table with our doctors. You need to work with our doctors on a contract that does not discriminate on people based on their gender or disability. You need to work on a contract that means that people will come to our country to work in our wonderful healthcare system, not leaving it. You need to work on a contract that will fill rota gaps rather than creating them. And I suspect you won't listen to that. So, when you're looking for the 5,000 doctors that you promised during one of your chats with one of the junior doctors, or indeed the other 5,000 doctors that it now seems are likely to leave as a result of your contract, while you're looking for them, I suggest you look in the land of Oz. Obviously the fictional one, not Australia, because that's where our doctors are going. But whilst you're there, why don't you ask the wizard for a brain, so that you can see sense on this? And ask him for a heart, so that you can feel the pain and anguish of doctors and their patients. And finally, some courage, so that you might get back to the negotiating table, admit you were wrong, and work with our doctors on a contract that is safe, that is fair, and that is right for the doctors, right for the patients, and right for the future of the NHS. And finally, to our doctors, please do not give up your fight. You truly are fighting for a healthcare system that, despite its flaws, is the envy of the world. If you give up your fight, the NHS will fail. If the NHS fails, we'll end up with private care. I'm uninsurable in a private care system. I would not be able to afford the feed that goes down my feeding tube or my routine medications. If the NHS fails, I'm going to have to tell my family to leave me to die. And I never want you as doctors to be in a position where you have to tell a mother, a son, a brother that you can't treat their relative because they can't afford the care. So you've got to continue fighting because it's too important to lose. And one final thought. When I die, let it be because medicine is unable to save me, and not because I'm unable to afford the medicine to try.